Good afternoon. I greet you this afternoon with the universal greetings of respect. And thank you for joining me and the rest of our mindful community today in this day of opportunities, possibilities, miracles, and choices. It's a great day. It's a good day. I saw a quote that said it's a good day to have a good day. And I definitely agree with that. So I'm first wondering, how did you do last week? We talked about the different things of people not supporting others, and then it was time for their support. There was nobody around. How did you do with that? Did you have any conversations about it? Did you do anything to expand your support of other people? How did that work out? Hopefully it was a good experience. Today will be some more opportunities and possibilities. So I always begin with a moment to relax and breathe. We've done guided imagery. We've done box breathing. We've done a few different things. What I'd like you to do today is just concentrate on your breaths. You don't have to hold your breath. You don't have to do anything like that. Just try inhaling and concentrate on your inhale. And concentrate on your exhale. Nothing but just being present with your breaths and relaxing your mind, relaxing your body for just a moment to relax and breathe. You'd be surprised how powerful that can be when something happens. We're going to have a suddenly at some point. That email, that phone call, that text, that knock on the door, that diagnosis, something that we just did not expect to happen. This might help you or us make it through that difficult period. But here's a question. For those of you who choose to not relax and breathe, what will you do instead other than relaxing and breathing? Might be something worth having a conversation with somebody about at some point later on. So that brings us to today and our mindful moment, inspired by today's date. This is April the 3rd. So April the 3rd, 1968, a man that was known as Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech. He was assassinated April the 4th, which would be represented by tomorrow. And many things happened. I had a chance to hear his daughter, Yolanda, their first child, speak, and she said it's so easy for people to celebrate my father's birthday and things like that and have no idea of the principles that he lived by or what he did during his journey here. So I want to do an excerpt from one of the parts of the speech that he gave that was his final speech. So he said, "Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop and I don't mind." He said, like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. He said, but I'm not concerned about that now. Now, I want to stop it right there. That statement of, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. Any person who has ever lived in life could have made that statement and it had been true. Difficult days are ahead. But he spoke about being on the mountaintop, and that's why he didn't mind. He was able to see what he referred to as the promised land and possibilities for things, even if he wasn't there, that humans, our people, and humanity as a nation would be able to benefit from. Said he saw that. He was at his mountaintop. My point for bringing this up now is, what is your mountaintop? What is your high point? I want to talk about the appreciation of that and the confusion about that. There are some who are so conscious about getting to the next mountaintop. When I get that next degree, when I get that next house, when I buy the next phone, or when I get the next car, when I find the new mate or something like that. So conscious about getting to the next mountaintop that we don't even become conscious and are able to appreciate the mountaintop that we're on. There's a guy named Whitney Phipps that said he's a singer, and he quoted an older lady. He said this older lady said to him, if the mountain was smooth, you wouldn't be able to climb it. If the mountain was smooth, you wouldn't be able to climb it. You see the point? So in order to get to the top, you have to go through some rough places. What were the rough places that you went through trying to get to your mountaintop? You've had something that you should feel good about. Do you have that mountaintop place that you can really be still to appreciate? Some are just so busy trying to get to the next thing that we can't even relax and enjoy the beauty of the peaks that we're on, the challenges that we've gone through. Other people have no idea, most often, what your rough places look like getting to your mountaintop. But do you take the time to appreciate it? And I'm not talking about being so caught up in patting yourself on the back and becoming narcissistic or egotistical about look what all I've done. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just be able to appreciate the value of where you are and what you have come through and being able to see greater things. In military terms, they refer to a mountaintop as like being able to elevate above the battlefield and be able to see things beyond what your immediate circumstances are. So you're not consumed by just what's in front of you. You've been able to elevate to a place because of what you've gone through where you can see people for who they are. You can see places for what it is and things for what it is. And you found the value because of where you are in your journey. I'm talking about being able to appreciate the mountaintop that you're on and what you had to go through to get there. But I want to deal with the confusion about the mountaintop. Some people think that their mountaintop has to look like somebody else's mountaintop, right? As if it's a competition, you know. And there are even some people who will say, listen, you've done enough. You've already accomplished this. You've got that degree or you've bought the new home. Why don't you just relax and retire and just take it easy? You don't need to go. You've already done more than I have. Why don't you just stop right now? Here's the truth of it. One man's ceiling is another man's floor. Don't let somebody else's mountaintop determine what your limits ought to be. By the same token, don't be so caught up in trying to just get to that next place because it's so great or somebody else has done that, or hoping that somebody's going to appreciate your mountaintop view. As a matter of fact, because of where you are, there might be some people who will look disparagingly on you. Look at her. She's on the mountaintop, think she's all that, or think he's all that. They have no idea of what your rough places look like. Don't be caught up in that. Enjoy the beauty of your mountaintop. Enjoy the beauty of elevating to a place where you can see people now better as who they are, see things for what it is, and find the value of life and things and not just the price of things that you come in contact with. Finding the beauty of being on the mountaintop. Finding yours. So, that being said, I encourage you to look for opportunities. Look for opportunities to pass this message on to somebody else. To look for to find their mountaintop. Look for an opportunity today to be still and reflect on, man, look what I've gone through to get where I am. And understand that nobody else may not be able to appreciate that because that's your journey. That's your mountaintop. There are things that you have seen and see that others can't see. It's a waste of good time and energy trying to pull somebody to your view because they haven't been through what you've been through to be there. That could be a waste of time. Look for an opportunity to kind of put that piece in perspective. Next, I encourage you to consider the possibility that somebody in your circle just might need to have help finding their mountaintop. So you think this is just something we're talking about here? It's not real. Let me tell you something. This is real. So a few years ago, a good friend of mine was living in his condo, came to his garage to get into a car, and was attacked by some robbers. He was shot as he was trying to run off, left for dead. Made it to the phone call, got in the hospital. Fast forward the story. I went to the hospital to visit him. He was doing well. Talked to the doctor. The doctor said, I said, how's he coming? He said, oh, he has a strong will to live. He's going to be all right. He's really fighting to come back. I asked myself the question, if I had been in that same situation, would I have fought that hard to come back? The answer was no. You see, my life at that particular time, I didn't know where my mountaintops were. I didn't have a vantage point of seeing a future that I was looking forward to going into. And I knew that if my life had been on the line and I was struggling to either come back to this life or to die, my preference at that moment would have been to die. And here's the thing, it wasn't suicidal. It's just that I no longer had a fight to live because I didn't know where my mountaintop was. And you know what? I never talked to anybody about it until after it's over, after it was over. So I'm asking you and encouraging you to consider the possibility that somebody in your circle may be having trouble finding their mountaintop. They may be going through something and not even talking about it. Don't let outside appearances confuse you or fool you. Look for the possibility to help someone find that high point for themselves, in spite of all that's going on, to find the value in the things that they've gone through to get to where they are. Lastly, I encourage you to expect and experience the miracles that will expand in your life as you continue on this journey, becoming more mindful of your moments. I thank you so much for living, living for sure, but for listening. Our goal is to help us to live well, not just to live long. Pass this message on to someone. Enjoy your travels, travel well, and until the next time that we connect mindfully together, respect.